the goddess of prostitutes. Aphrodite is the goddess of love, fertility, beauty. Some of her symbols are doves, roses, swans, seashells, the ocean. She could potentially be the goddess of prostitutes or ritual prostitution, which I didn't even know that was a thing. And potentially, it's not a thing. Later, they're like thinking that Christians just made this up about pagan religion or religion based around worshiping goddesses because they were just trying to discount it. There's actually a male version of her called Aphrodite that was specifically really worshipped in Cyprus. And there was actually a cult of Hermaphroditus, which is a different god, but this cult also worshipped Aphrodite. And this is just a very specific god that existed only really in Cyprus and some other areas, but it was just like this specific god was considered very lucky to look at. Like if you looked at the statue and the statue was actually flashing you, it was Aphrodite with a beard and, you know, reproductive organs down there. You have to look more into it, but I just think it's freaking hilarious. Like, this was considered lucky to look at, and now people are like so hateful. Our views on things are so skewed depending on our culture and where we are, and it just goes to show you when we say like, oh, this isn't accepted, it's like, to who? For why? Like, let's look up the reasons. Has it always been this way? Have we always acted like this? Can we find patterns within society and actually change or take from what has happened in the past? That's one of the reasons that I'm doing this research, is because I made this perfume named Aphrodite and I just want to know more about her. I like to get the historical context and stuff like that, but I also like to know what people are doing in this day and age and just the general feeling that I have, how we can bring this into the modern day, you know? Aphrodite is born from Uranus's nutsack. Okay, you heard that correctly. There are two different texts that come up repeatedly, and that's Homer's Iliad and Hesiod's Theogony. And they're different because they're different types of people. Like the Homer's Iliad is more like thinking of the gods as these like aristocrats, whereas Hesiod's Theogony, he grew up on a farm. He thinks of things as like these primal forces. In Hesiod's Theogony, Kronos decides that Uranus should not rule the planet anymore. When Kronos cuts off Uranus's reproductive system, then it goes across the sea. She was born from the semen spreading into the ocean across the sea for a long amount of time. I feel like that represents that she took time to create such a mythic way to be born. Entire myths, what we think of as a goddess, based on like one or two people's accounts, and there's like whole entire systems. Even to this day, we have people that worship Aphrodite. I created a perfume called Aphrodite. Homer's Iliad, she actually was the daughter of Zeus and Dion, which is just a feminine version of Zeus. It almost seems like, you know, masculine and feminine split in two. And Zeus is the sky god. And Dion would have been the daughter or descendant of Gaia, which is the earth. So it would be the earth and the sky coming together to create Aphrodite. She's associated with the ocean. Hesiod's Theogony, farmer poet, he says she's born of the semen, you know? And she's like kind of the foam. That's actually what people think Aphrodite might mean, is like born of the foam. So she is very liminal. She is like the in-between. She's between the earth and the sky. In both cases, she ends up being between the earth and the sky somehow. It could have been Aphrodite that actually started the Trojan War. When you visualize Aphrodite, you probably think of the famous painting, The Birth of Venus. The way that she was actually depicted in ancient texts is so different. You've probably heard of the story of Helen of Troy. Well, she was basically gifted away by Aphrodite in exchange for being chosen between three goddesses. Helen was married. This could have caused the Trojan War. Do we all know this? Or do we all just kind of vaguely know the stories of the gods and goddesses? I don't think I've ever sat down and read Homer's Iliad, but these stories are always vaguely within all sorts of media. Think Marvel and different animations that you've seen before. Hercules, it's everywhere. It kind of is a story in the way that sexual desire and feminine ways can actually change the outcome of society. More drama about Aphrodite. These stories crack me up. And I always wonder if these stories were actually like somebody's actual story, you know? And I have to tell you, let me just tell you. She's married to Hephaestus, right? In a lot of them, not all of them. And she's always cheating. Sometimes she cheats with Zeus in some stories, she cheats with Ares. When she cheats with Ares in this one story, Hephaestus catches them both with a net. Like, I can't. This is so hilarious. And this is why I'm saying, like, is this somebody's real story? They say that it could have stemmed from a folk tale, but it's just funny, like, did it stem from a real story, though? That's what I'm wondering. Because did somebody really take a net and capture somebody? That would be so funny. So, another story about her cheating, though. Hera catches her cheating with Zeus and decides to rub some sort of evil potion on her belly because she's pregnant, and then the baby becomes like an evil demon baby, and then Aphrodite just casts the baby aside. This is crazy. Like, these stories are just so insane. You know, they were telling these stories around the campfire, just cracking up about the gods being wild. It's so human, you know, they make so many mistakes, like they're cheating on each other. It's like, what is this, Love Island? No, it's Greek mythology. I love it.